Hey, whatever happened to abortion as an issue for the Christian right? I remember during all three Trump campaigns, 2016, 2020, and 2024, all my Christian friends told me I had to vote for Trump if I opposed abortion. Since they knew I was pro-life, they assumed it was a slam dunk argument. But I didn't see it as an argument at all. But they thought I'd have no choice but to vote for him in light of this conversation stopping argument. They, they kind of used abortion like a club to beat me over the head, to beat never Trumpers over the head. And they acted like it was the ultimate winning argument. Who could go against it? And they definitely used it as a conversation stopper. If you said Trump has committed crimes, he's raped women, he's defrauded contractors and employees and customers out of tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, who knows? I mean, it could easily be in the hundreds of millions. But the answer to almost every criticism was, well, you want to stop abortions, don't you? And it almost felt as if they were using the argument for some political end more than it felt like a lot, or more than it felt like they were genuinely concerned about abortion. A lot of them, not everybody, for sure. Sure, certainly a lot of people who are very sincere about abortion, but it certainly got them out of having to answer tough questions. And they used it to give themselves a pass for having to justify their support for such an immoral character. I mean, here they are claiming to be Christians, MAGA Christians, and rah rah Trump. But Trump has all these serious character issues that should concern any Christian, and yet they were wholly unconcerned by it. And abortion was the stopper issue. You know, he's opposed to abortion. That's it. Don't need to know anything else. He could become a dictator. He could drive the country into bankruptcy. I don't care. He'll stop abortion. Although he had kind of already stopped it by appointing, his three Supreme Court appointees. That was that got Roe overturned. So it's kind of like, what more was there left for him to do? Well, the only thing left for him to do was to pass a national abortion ban, but that was something he promised during the 2024 campaign he wouldn't do. So anyway, I'm not saying there aren't a lot of genuine pro-life Christians because I'm one. So I know there are many, and I know they're very sincere. But even back then, something felt off with a lot of these conversations. It seemed like they were more interested in using abortion as a political weapon to force people into voting for Trump than they were in actually solving the problem. Now, again, I don't mean every pro-lifer. There are many sincere people who genuinely want to end abortion. But I have to ask, where are they now? Where are they now? It's been 3, 4 months almost that he's been president and that Republicans have controlled Congress, and I haven't heard a word from them about a national abortion ban. Today they have literally everything they need. Trump is back in the White House. Republicans control both the House and the Senate. Conservatives have a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. There's literally nothing stopping them politically from passing a national abortion ban and sending it to the president's desk. And the Supreme Court, the one Trump helped shape 1/3 of, it would very likely uphold it. But they've fallen completely silent. What gives? And yet, when Trump ran in 2024, he explicitly said he opposed a national ban. He said, let all the states decide. Let each state decide. And that's what conservatives had said for, decades. If we overturn Roe, then it's up to each state. Well, if you're an abortion purist, that should not be acceptable for a candidate to say, okay, I'm cool to let the states decide, because, a lot of states will decide to allow abortion. And if you're a purist, how could you tolerate that? Why would you? And why would you beat everyone over the head to vote for this guy who doesn't even promise that? So, you know, I haven't heard all these people who had lectured me for years. I haven't heard them say a word recently, not a single word about abortion. In fact, when I've pointed out to them that Trump wasn't even promising a national ban back during the election, they just shrugged and said, well, he's better than Kamala. That was their whole argument. Not that he would end abortion, but that he would at least not promote it as aggressively as Kamala. which I think was true. That's probably true. But now that they have total control of the government, nothing, not even a whisper about a national abortion ban, not from Trump, not from the Republican leadership, and not from any of those people who once said abortion was the single greatest moral crisis in America. Where's Franklin Graham? Have you heard him out rallying the troops about abortion lately? Why not? Where are these people? Where's Paula White? I thought she's supposed to be the faith leader of the White House. Where is she? It really makes you wonder, were they ever truly serious, a lot of these people? I know a lot of people who were serious, and I'm serious about it too. I just not sure I agree with the ban now that I've seen what they're doing in places like Texas and Florida. So I have a real problem with the way they're carrying it out and not protecting women who actually need to, relieve their bodies of a dead fetus or an embryo that's going to kill them if they don't get rid of it. Anyway, were they ever truly serious, or was abortion just a political tool to guilt Christians into backing a candidate they otherwise wouldn't support? Because if they really believed it, if they really saw abortion as a tragedy that had to be ended at any cost, they'd be demanding action right now. But they're not. They're completely silent right now. So seriously, where are they? Where are all the passionate pro-life warriors now? Why aren't they hammering their representatives and their president, to pass a national ban like they said they wanted? Where are they? It honestly makes me think they weren't sincere about it at all. And I don't mean, again, I don't mean every abortion opponent, because I know many are very sincere. But the people driving this agenda, this MAGA agenda, Franklin Graham, Kenneth Copeland, where are all these people on abortion? Why aren't they, uh, you know, protesting the fact that their party and their president that they literally put into power haven't lifted a finger to do a thing about a national abortion ban? These abortion purists, where are they? The people driving the agenda, the leadership of the Republican Party, they are obviously not sincere at all. And a lot of the people I argued with over the last 10 years, I don't think they were sincere either. The ones who pounded me with abortion arguments for supporting Trump, they're completely silent now. I don't see them saying a single thing about a national abortion ban. Are they really okay that abortion is still allowed in many states? I thought they wanted it outlawed, throughout the nation, but apparently not. They're completely silent now about the lack of a national ban. And it's just another example of the unholy alliance between the MAGA Church and the Trump state. They wave the Bible around and they use it in their arguments, but when push comes to shove, it becomes quite clear that their only objective was to gain and hold power. And that's an objective radically opposed by biblical teachings. Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Were they truly sincere about stopping abortion? Or was it just a political weapon to force loyalty to their candidate? And if abortion wasn't the real reason, then why did they want Trump to win so badly? It's a question for sure. Anyway, if you're a conservative Christian, or anyone else for that matter, who understands that MAGA is neither conservative nor Christian, that while it wraps itself in the Bible and the flag, it's loyal to neither. If you understand that, join us. Join us here in this community, and let's work together and support each other. And as we go through what I think are going to be some pretty tough times in our near future. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And remember, keep Christ first.